suberin? Suberin is nothing but a fatty material. The type of epithelium. Usually all the epithelial cells form the lining of internal organs. Mitochondria is not included under the endomembrane. So which is the option which is having both magnesium and potassium as common for both necrosis as well as for chlorosis? All of us know the blood cells have like neutrophils, then basophils. Gametogenesis is the process of formation of gametes. Hello everyone, welcome back to this very important session, that is Karnataka CET 2017. Dear students, I know you all are eagerly waiting for your CET results. For the second PUC students who are going to write this CET for the coming year, you have to bear in mind that cracking the CET is not so very easy. The analysis of the questions is very, very important. As you know, these competitive exams are time bound, and within the stipulated time you need to select the correct answer. So in today's session, I'll be dealing with Karnataka CET 2017 analysis part. Moving on to the first question, identify the order from the following. Hope you remember the 7 taxonomical units, right? Identify the order from the following. Option A, Carnivora. Option B, Muscidae. C, Insecta. D, Panthera. Identify the order from the following. Carnivora is an order. Muscidae is a genus of housefly. Then Insecta is a class belonging to phylum Arthropoda. Panthera is a genus of tiger. So when we write kingdom, Animalia, phylum Chordata, class Mammalia, then order Carnivora, then family Felidae, then genus Panthera, species Tigris. So this is the systematic position or classification of tiger. This is the classification of tiger. So here you can see order Carnivora. Carnivores are flesh eaters. Order Carnivora. So identify the order from the following. Option A, Carnivora. Option B, Muscidae. Option C, Insecta. Option D, Panthera. See the correct option is option A. Option A is what? Carnivora. Ora. So Carnivora is the order. So option A is right. Option A is correct. Moving on to question number 2. Which of the following options show the characters of mycoplasma? So mycoplasma is the smallest cell. Which of the following options show the characters of mycoplasma? Option A, smallest living cell without cell wall, survive with oxygen. Smallest living cell with cell wall, survive with oxygen. C, smallest living cell without cell wall, survive without oxygen. D, smallest living cell with cell wall, survive without oxygen. So mycoplasma is the smallest cell without cell wall, but it is having plasma membrane. cell membrane. Because it is not having cell wall, it can, so that is the reason why it causes diseases. It can withstand any antibody and it can survive without oxygen. Survive without cell wall, without oxygen, and respire anaerobically. So, which of the following options show the characters of mycoplasma? Mycoplasma is the smallest cell without cell wall and survive without oxygen and respire what? Anaerobically. So, the option smallest living cell without cell wall, survive with oxygen, wrong. Smallest living cell with cell wall, survive with oxygen, wrong. Smallest living cell without cell wall, survive without oxygen, correct. Smallest cell without cell wall, survive without oxygen. Survive without cell wall, survive without oxygen. Smallest living cell with cell wall, survive without oxygen. With cell wall, wrong. So the option C is correct. Option C is correct. That is smallest living cell without cell wall, survive without oxygen. Moving on to question number 3. Which class of algae reproduces asexually by non-motile spores and sexually by non-motile gametes? The options are option A, Rhodophyceae, B, Phaeophyceae, C, Chlorophyceae, and D, Cyanophyceae. In algae, particularly the algae which belong to the group, I think all of you know algae have been broadly classified based on the pigments into Rhodophyceae, Phaeophyceae, Chlorophyceae, right? So the algae which belong to the group Rhodophyceae can reproduce asexually, that is asexual reproduction through non-motile spores, that is are produced which form the new cell body. And the sexual reproduction is the fusion of non-motile gametes to form the embryo which develop to form the new algal body. So the option, which class of algae reproduces asexually by non-motile spores and sexually by motile gametes, the answer is what? Rhodophyceae. Rhodophyceae. So option A is correct. Option A, Rhodophyceae. Option A, Rhodophyceae. Next, question number 4. Which of the following plants produce zygomorphic flowers? Hope you remember in morphology of flowering plants in first PUC, flowers are of two types, that is one called actinomorphic and the other one called zygomorphic. Actinomorphic can be cut into two equal halves in any plane. Here can be cut into two equal halves in one vertical plane. Which of the following plants produce zygomorphic flowers? I think all of you know the symbol for actinomorphic is plus. For zygomorphic is percentage. Options are option A, hibiscus, option B, canna, option C, gulmohar, and option D, mustard. Hibiscus is actinomorphic. Canna is asymmetric. In any direction you cannot be cut. Gulmohar is zygomorphic. And mustard is actinomorphic. zygomorphic. So, which of the following plants produce zygomorphic flowers? It is option C, gulmohar. See here, this is hibiscus actinomorphic, canna asymmetric, gulmohar zygomorphic, and mustard actinomorphic. So, which of the following plants produce zygomorphic flowers? It is gulmohar. It is gulmohar. Moving on to question number 5. The secondary wall material suberin is deposited on the walls of option A, pericycle of stem and endodermis of root, option B, phellum of stem and endodermis of root, option C, epidermis of stem and endodermis of root, and option D, phellogen and phelloderm. What is suberin? Suberin is nothing but a fatty material. It is a fatty material deposited on where? On the phellum cells of stem and endodermal cells of root. So it is usually deposited on the phellum of the stem and the endodermal cells of root. And on the endodermis, this suberin is going to form what? A Casparian bands, or otherwise called Casparian strips. So which will prevent the flow of water. So wherever passage cells are there, you don't find the Casparian bands. So the secondary wall material suberin is deposited on the walls of phellum cells of stem and endodermal cells of root. So which is the option which is correct? Pericycle of stem and endodermis of root? Wrong. Phellum of stem and endodermis of root? Correct. Phellum of stem, phellum cells of stem and endodermal cells of root is correct. Epidermis of stem and endodermis of root? Wrong. Here D, phellogen and phelloderm? Wrong. So option B is correct. Option B is correct. Moving on to question number 6. The type of epithelium found in the fallopian tube. Hope you remember the reproductive system. The reproductive system has a oviduct, or what we otherwise call it as fallopian tube, which functions to move particles or mucus in a specific direction. So it carries what? The ova. The type of epithelium. Usually all the epithelial cells form the lining of internal organs. So option A, squamous epithelium, option B, cuboidal epithelium, option C, ciliated epithelium, and option D, columnar epithelium. Usually the ciliated epithelial cells are required to move particles or mucus in a specific direction. The vibratory movement of the ciliated epithelial cells is responsible for the movement of particles or mucus in a specific direction. So the ciliated epithelial cells is the answer. So option A, squamous epithelium? Wrong. Option B, cuboidal epithelium? Wrong. Option C, ciliated epithelium? Correct. Option D, columnar epithelium? Wrong. So option C is right, that is ciliated epithelium. Ciliated epithelium. Ciliated epithelium. Moving on to question number 7. Which one of the following is not included under endomembrane system? So which one of the following is not included under endomembrane system? Endomembrane system includes endoplasmic reticulum, Golgi complex, lysosomes and vacuoles. But the mitochondria and chloroplasts are not included in the endomembrane system, since the functions of mitochondria, chloroplasts and perioxysomes are not coordinated with the above components. These are not considered as the part of endomembrane system. So which one of the following is not included under endomembrane system? Option A, that is endoplasmic reticulum, it is included. Mitochondria not included. Lysosomes included. Then vacuole included. So which is the option which is wrong? That is mitochondria is wrong. B. which one of the following is not included under endomembrane system is option B, that is mitochondria. Mitochondria is not included under the endomembrane system, whereas the other three are included under the endomembrane system. In the following question number 8, in the following diagrammatic representation of a standard ECG electrocardiograph, the T represents what? So here you can see the ECG PQRST, right? So what does T represent? What does T represent? Option A, depolarization of atria, B, depolarization of ventricles, then C, repolarization of atria, then repolarization of ventricle. T stands for repolarization of ventricle. So option D is correct. That is repolarization of ventricle. So the option D is correct. Repolarization of ventricle. Moving on to question number 9. Which of the following is not a characteristic of facilitated transport? Active transport, passive transport and facilitated transport. Facilitated transport is transport through special proteins, carrier proteins, right? So, which of the following is not a characteristic of facilitated transport? Option A, uphill transport. Option B, highly selective. Option C, requires special membrane proteins. And option D, transport saturates. Uphill transport is the correct answer, which is not a characteristic. This is a characteristic, this is a characteristic, this is a characteristic. Uphill transport is the movement of molecules across a membrane through special transport proteins. The movement is in accordance with the concentration gradient. So the movement is in accordance with the concentration gradient and hence downhill transport, not uphill transport. It is downhill transport. Transport protein particles provide highly selectivity and transport only certain molecules. So the option A is the answer. Which of the following is not a characteristic of facilitated transport? It is uphill transport is not the characteristic of facilitated transport. Moving on to question number 10. Identify the elements whose deficiency causes both necrosis, death of tissue, and also what? Chlorosis, removal of chlorophyll. So identify the elements whose deficiency causes both necrosis and chlorosis. What are the elements? Option A, magnesium and potassium. Option B, molybdenum and calcium. And option C, ferrous and manganese. And option D, copper and cobalt. Chlorosis is caused by deficiency of which of the vitamins? Which of the elements? Chlorosis is caused by deficiency of elements like N, K, M, G, S and K. Nitrogen, potassium, magnesium, sulfur and potassium, right? So it is repeated, potassium. Necrosis is caused by deficiency of calcium, magnesium, copper and K. That is potassium. Identify the elements whose deficiency causes both necrosis and chlorosis. Here you can see both is magnesium and potassium. Here it is magnesium and potassium. Here also you can see. So which is the option which is having both magnesium and potassium as common for both necrosis as well as for chlorosis? Option A, magnesium and potassium, correct. B, wrong. C, wrong. D, wrong. Right, so identify the elements whose deficiency causes both necrosis and chlorosis. Option A is correct. That is Mg and potassium. Moving on to question number 11. The outcome of Calvin cycle include option A, 6O2, 18 ATP, 12 NADPH. Option B, 1 glucose, 18 ATP, 12 NADPH. 6, option C, 6 O2, 18 ADP, 12 NADP. Option D, 1 glucose, 18 ADP and 12 NADP. The outcome of Calvin cycle includes, so 6 turn of Calvin cycle use energy from ATP. 6 means 6 turns of Calvin cycle use energy from ATP to combine with 6 CO2 molecule with 12 hydrogen from NADPH. So 12 hydrogen are used. The result is 1 molecule of glucose. So it will be what? 1 glucose molecule, 18 ADP, adenosine diphosphate, and what? One more is what? 12 NADP. So which is the option which is having 1 glucose, 18 ADP, 6 turn of Calvin cycle use energy from ATP. So 18 ADP, then 12 NADP. So option A, 6 O2, wrong. Here also 1 glucose, here it is there, here it is there. 1 glucose, here also this is wrong. Among these two, 1 glucose, 18 ATP wrong, 18 ADP correct, 12 NADP, 12 NADP. So option D is correct. The outcome of Calvin cycle include 1 glucose, 18 ADP and 12 NADP. Moving on to question number 12. The number of ATP molecules utilized for the breakdown of 1 molecule of glucose during glycolysis. The number of ATP molecules utilized for the breakdown of 1 molecule of glucose during glycolysis. During glycolysis produces what? 2 ATP molecules, 2 NADPH and 2 pyruvate molecules. So 1 glucose molecule during the process of glycolysis produce 2 ATP molecules, 2 NADH and 2 pyruvate molecules. So the number of ATP molecules, how much? 2 ATP molecules. So which is the option which is having 2 ATP molecules? Option A, 4, wrong. Option B, 2, correct. 2 ATP molecules, right? Then option C, 6, wrong. Option D, 8, wrong. So option B is correct, that is 2 ATP molecules. Here it is there, molecules. So the number of ATP molecules is how much? 2. So glycolysis produce 2 ATP, 2 NADH and 2 pyruvate molecules. Moving on to question number 13. Match the enzymes of column 1 with the functions of column 2. Choose the correct option. So here column 1 contains the enzymes and column 2 contains on which the substrates on which it is going to act. Right? Enterokinase. So enterokinase, renin, amylase, lipase. Digest milk proteins, digest carbohydrates, activates trypsinogen, acts on nucleic acid, breakdown of fats. Right? So enterokinase activates what? Activates trypsinogen. Renin digests what? Milk proteins. Amylase digests carbohydrates. Then lipase break down fats. So 1 is R, 2 is P, then 3 is Q, then 4 is T. So which is the option? So enterokinase activates trypsinogen, inactivated trypsinogen into trypsin. Then renin digests milk proteins. Amylase digests carbohydrates. Lipase break down fats. So 1R, 2P, 3Q, 4T. So which is the option which is correct here? Option 1, 1R, 2P, 3Q, 4T, correct. 1R, 2P, 3TQ. So this is wrong. 1S, 2P, 3T, 4Q, wrong. 1S, 2Q, 3P, 4T, wrong. So option 1, that is option A is correct. Option A is correct. 1R, 2P, 3Q, 4T. Moving on to question number 14. The volume of air inspired or expired. Inspired means taken in. Expired given out by a healthy man per minute is. Usually the volume of air inspired or expired, we call it as tidal volume, TV, which is around 500 ml in a healthy man. So in a healthy adult can inspire or expire around 6 to 8 liters of air per minute. That is around 6000 ml to 8000 ml per minute. The options are, so the answer is 6000 to 8000 ml. First option is what? 1000 ml to 1100 ml. Wrong. Option B, 2500 ml to 3000 ml. Wrong. Option C, 6000 ml to 8000 ml. Correct. Then option D, 400 ml to, so option C is correct. That is around 6000 ml to 8000 ml. The blood that secretes histamine, serotonin and heparin. All of us know the blood cells have like neutrophils, then basophils. Particularly the basophils, a type of blood cells, secrete histamine, then serotonin and heparin. Heparin is an anticoagulant. So basophil, the blood cell that secretes histamine, serotonin and heparin is basophil. What are the options given? Neutrophil, wrong. B, T lymphocytes, no. Then C, killer cells, no. Then option D, basophil is correct. So basophil secretes what? Histamine, serotonin and heparin. So option D is correct. Option D is correct. Question number 16. The hormones involved in maintaining calcium balance in the human body are. Usually the calcium balance is maintained in the body by parathyroid hormone and thyrocalcitonin, that is PTH and TCT, thyrocalcitonin. These two are the hormones involved in maintaining calcium balance in the human body. So what are the options? PCT, PTH, that is parathormone, and TCT, correct. Parathyroid hormone and thyrocalcitonin, which is also called as what? Modified vitamin D3. Then parathyroid LTH, wrong. Then TCT and FSH, wrong. Follicle stimulating hormone and thyrocalcitonin. Luteinizing hormone is wrong. MSH, melanocyte stimulating hormone and adrenocorticotropic hormone, wrong. So parathormone and thyrocalcitonin are the two hormones involved in maintaining calcium balance in the blood. So option A is correct. That is PTH and TCT is the correct option. So option A is correct. Moving on to question number 17. Amoeba is immortal. That is, there is no death for amoeba because it does not undergo natural death because of asexual reproduction. All of us know binary fission is a type of asexual reproduction where the body of the parent is divided into two daughter cells. So whatever contents is found in the parent cell is distributed to the offsprings or to the daughter cells. So there is no practical death in amoeba and bacteria. So amoeba is immortal because option A, it is multicellular, wrong, it is unicellular. It is microscopic, correct, but that is not the reason for amoeba to be immortal. Option C, it reproduces by sexual method, no. There is no sexual method at all, asexual method, that too by binary fission. So option D, parental body is distributed among the offsprings during binary fission, correct. So whatever contents are found in the parent body is distributed to the daughter cells. So parental body is distributed among the offsprings during binary fission is correct. So option D is correct. Option D is correct. Question number 18. Which of the following is not a pre-fertilization? What do you mean by pre-fertilization? Before fertilization. After fertilization is called post-fertilization. Which of the following is not a pre-fertilization event in higher organisms? Which is not a pre-fertilization event in higher organisms. Option A, gametogenesis. Gametogenesis is what? Gametogenesis is the process of formation of gametes. It is a pre-fertilization event. Gamete transfer, also it is a pre-fertilization. What is gamete transfer? The two gametes should come closer together to facilitate or to favor what? Fertilization. So this is also pre-fertilization, this is also pre-fertilization. We have to identify which is not. Meiosis is also before, right? Then cleavage. Cleavage is an event which takes place after fertilization. What is cleavage? The zygote which is formed after the fusion of the male gamete with the female gamete is a diploid cell but single cell, which will undergo mitotic division like called what? Cleavage, blastula, then gastrula, all that, etc. So cleavage is a post-fertilization event. After fertilization it will take place. The remaining three are pre-fertilization. So which of the following is not a pre-fertilization event? The answer is D, cleavage. Right. Moving on to question number 19. If a tetraploid plant contains 48 chromosomes in its nucellus, then the number of chromosomes in the egg cell, and in a synergid. So what will be the chromosomal number in the egg cell and the synergid? Here it is given if a tetraploid plant. So the plant is tetraploid, that is 4n. So there are how many chromosomes? 48 chromosomes in the nucellus. The egg cell and synergid, I think all of us know that the egg cell and synergid are produced by meiotic division and hence are haploid in nature. So even this is N and this is also N. Egg cell is also haploid and synergid is also haploid, which are produced by what? By meiotic division. So 48 by 2 is equal to 24. That means egg cell is also 24 and synergid is also 24. Half of it. So the options that are given here is 48 and 48. Option A is wrong. Option B, 24 and 24 is correct. Here 24 and 24. C, 24 and 48 wrong. Then option D, 48 and 24 is wrong. So option B is correct. Option B is correct. Pollen grains are generally spherical, measuring about. So what is the measurement of a pollen grain? Option A, 25 to 50 micrometers. Then option B, 25 to 50 millimeters. Option C, 25 to 50 nanometers. And option D, 25 to 50 centimeters. Usually the pollen grain is spherical, measuring around 25 to 50 micrometers. So it is around 25 to 50 millimicrons or micrometers. So option A is correct. 25 to 50 micrometers. Here it is given millimeters, so it is wrong. Here it is given nanometers, it is wrong. Here it is given 25 to 50 centimeters. Option D is wrong. So option A is correct. That is 25 to 50 micrometers. Hope you have understood the analysis part of these 20 questions, part 1. So I'll be back with some more questions in part 2. Thank you.